Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to go into the next book in the Singularity. This is the online Kickstarter. This is Singularity Act 1, Sylean Dream. We're going to take a look at the book at the beginning of the book because I don't want to give up spoilers. So I'm only going to go a little ways into it, but I'll give you my thoughts having read the book and what I feel you can do with this. There's a tremendous amount of information in here, and I'm pretty excited about the next steps of it. But today on page 121, we're going to take a look at Singularity Act 1, Sylean Dream. Singularity Act 1 for Traveler. This was, as I said, the Kickstarter for this campaign, and this is the second offering for it. It's available only on PDF so far, and only for Kickstarter backers. It'll be available for sale soon. But this is just by way of showing what you get. This book is really good. I enjoyed reading this book. If you want to play the full Singularity campaign with the conscious intelligence and all that stuff, you can, and I'm excited about those aspects of the campaign. I've already thought of ways I'm going to adapt some of this into my current game or a game I'm thinking of starting up with my players as active duty military. I haven't figured it out. I don't see myself running Singularity yet, but this has been good enough that it's making me rethink that position. So I may be running this for my table sometime very soon. But this is Singularity Act 1, and this is Sylean Dream. It takes place in the core, not the galactic core, but the Imperial core. Parts are on Capital and a lot of the surrounding systems. That was really cool. I love the Third Imperium book. It's one of my favorites. If anybody follows my channel knows that I absolutely love that book. And this gives us an opportunity to explore some stuff in there even more. So we get to meet a lot of nobles. We get to meet a lot of just important people. And this was written by Christopher Griffin. Christopher Griffin writes a great book, and I've enjoyed this so far. There's a fun section in here. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go here to the introduction. That tells you what you're going to be doing. The players are going to hire on as a crew aboard a luxury liner, and they're going to be taking care of the well-connected and well-to-do of the Third Imperium. They're going to have an opportunity to make connections. They're going to have an opportunity to help people out that can help them out later, that kind of stuff. So if you want to do any kind of power building or anything like that, power brokering, this is an excellent opportunity for you. Also in the background, the Singularity, there's a conscious intelligence, an artificial intelligence, that is kind of manipulating things for its own ends, and its own ends may be good, may be bad. We don't know enough yet to find out. Ostensibly, it's working for the good of humanity, but that remains to be seen, as always. I have really enjoyed this little ride with these books. Now, going past the introduction, some nice artwork there. I love just standard, they're at a bar. This actually looks like a place where we go to Godzilla Fest at the Hyatt Regency in Rosemont. It reminds me of one of the areas they have there. So you're going to go to Aldefar and then on to Onan, and you're going to meet your patron, the Baron of Elins. This is all in the very first few pages. I'm not really giving up any spoilers there. There might be some in the text, but you were warned. Now we go to Anther, and we're going to take a look at the starport there, which impressed the heck out of me. It's 8 million ton displacement. It's a dispersed structure. This may be the largest vessel creation, whatever you want to call it, that I remember seeing in Traveler. Now, there might be a bigger one, Gateway. I would have to double check. Gateway Station might be bigger. But 8 million ton displacement. You could literally run a whole campaign just aboard this one vessel. Easily. But there we get a nice picture of it. And there we go. And then we get a nice cutaway. And then we have an unusual opportunity. And that's about as far into the book as I'm going to go. Simply because I don't want to give up too many surprises. This is an excellent book. It's very well written. It's got some twists and turns in it. It also has, in 200 pages, it has a couple of adventures that they refer to as departures. These are things your players could do as side quests to the main campaign. I like that a lot because the author goes out of his way to avoid seeming to railroad the reader or the players. He's trying to keep it that they have plenty of agency to do whatever they want. And I appreciate that, I really do. But I feel to tell any story, there has to be a certain amount of railroading. The players have to go along, or otherwise they can avoid your story. That's fine. I'll still run the game, but it's not going to be the game I had planned. So railroading and I have a kind of a love-hate relationship. I don't railroad per se, at least I don't feel I do. I've asked my players, they say I don't. But I can see where telling a story in a linear fashion could seem like railroading. The author goes to very great lengths to make it feel like you are not being railroaded, and I think he succeeds. The departures, those are the side quests, are really good. They would be worth their own book. They're very long. They're very detailed. There's a great one about the crime groups in the core, in around the capital of the Third Imperium, and how they prosper and how they do business, that I really enjoyed. Some of this was touched on in Journal of Traveler's Aid Society. I think it was number 10, but it's brought out in greater detail here with NPCs and everything. It's very well done. I liked all of these. You also have an adventure where one of your players has an opportunity to be knighted, and you could build a story behind that. You don't have to just follow the story here. There's a lot you can do with what you're given here. And I really, as a reader and a backer of the group, a backer of the Kickstarter, I really appreciate that. There's just a ton of stuff you can do with what you're presented with. So we, getting aboard the ship, there are different adventures to take aboard the ship. There are going to be a few things that I'm going to change to, I don't know, just it'll facilitate play better with my group about the ship. You have the ship, the Ventura Fortuna, which is an interesting name, but it's a slight spoiler here. If you don't want to hear it, go ahead and turn the volume down, but there is a slight spoiler. It's really two ships combined, and you have the opportunity to go on this other covert ship that has lots of stealth and things, and you can do some of the side adventures on that. I like that. I don't like that when the second ship is missing, there's a big bulge out of the hull. It's just, the ship visually looks like it's missing something. I'll be changing that around to put a false panel in there or something. I'm also decided that any kind of liner this important is going to have a couple of auxiliary ships to fly high guard or be on hand in case of emergency and need an evacuation. So I'm actually going to put 2 other escort ships with it. I haven't decided of what nature, but I will be putting 2 escort ships that will be following the same route as the luxury liner, that adding a little extra layer of security, adding that lifeboat status if you need it, that kind of thing. It's just something I'm going to be doing in my own campaign. But the campaign as written, you could easily run word for word and just have an absolute blast with. If you don't want to play the larger overarching story with the conscious intelligence, you don't have to. The information in this book is enough that you could run a luxury liner campaign for a very, very long time and not get bored, not find it repetitious. There's a lot you can do even if you don't want to follow the main story arc of the campaign. So it's just something to keep in mind as you're getting into this and deciding whether you want to be part of it or not, is it's not all about the one thing. There's a ton of stuff you can do. There's a tremendous amount of information here about some of the places around Capital and in the core region that is just invaluable. I love Third Imperium book, which I believe is also written by Chris Griffin. I love that book. I love the way it's put together. I love the information on the capital of the Third Imperium. And this book adds even more to it. In fact, this book refers you back to the Third Imperium book in several places. So overall, that's it. I'm not going to show any more of the book. I'm not going to give up any more of the secrets, other than to say, having read this, I completely enjoyed it. I found it a literal page turner. I sat down and read this thing for a few hours straight and didn't even realize it. It's a really fun read, and one that any old traveler like me would have loved to have had back in the 80s. So if you're thinking about jumping onto this when it becomes available, or if you are in the Kickstarter but just haven't gotten around to it, it's definitely worth your time. If you have gotten around to it, leave me some comments. But please, no spoilers. I'm trying to keep the spoilers to a minimum. But let me know what you think. But I enjoyed this offering a great deal, and I'm excited for the rest of the campaign, and I hope this book is indicative of what Mongoose will be doing going forward. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please leave any comments below, like and subscribe. Please, no spoilers in the comments, just as a courtesy to your fellow readers or your fellow viewers. Also, please take a look at the Patreon, see if there's anything you can do to help me out there. I have a few ideas for a couple of changes I want to do, a little bit of technology, a new background and that kind of thing, but I need a little capital for that. So take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. But that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.